Put down that maple syrup and grab your favorite moose because we're heading up to the Great White North on today's edition of the Tiny Tennis. If you're new here, hi, my name is Nick Emel, and I'm here to cover a top 10ish list in less than 10ish minutes. If you're looking for something a little less tiny, check out our main weekly series where me and a guest cover top 10 lists more in-depth and in long form. Now, before I go any further, I have to announce that today's episode is dedicated to one of my favorite Canadians. That's Brad Choma. You might know Brad as one of my frequent guest sidekick hosts, and I know that as a Canadian, he will be passionately nodding along with every single Canadian fun fact I share today. Brad, this list about Canada is for you, eh? Today, I'll be sharing the top 10 products that Canada exports to other countries, but first, you probably have some questions. You might be thinking, what the fuck, Nick? I'm not a goddamn Harvard economist. I don't even know what the hell an export is. And which state is Canada again? Well, don't worry, dear listener. Nick is here to help. Let's start with an export. What is it? An export in international trade is a good produced in one country that is sold into another country. So, for example, Canada produces a lot of maple syrup, eh? That maple syrup can be exported to other countries. But now I know what you're asking yourself. What the hell is Canada? Canada is the world's second largest country by total area. The country is characterized by a wide range of both meteorologic and geological regions. It is a sparsely inhabited country of just 40 million people. But it is a developed country that has a high nominal per capita income globally, and its advanced economy ranks among the largest in the world, relying chiefly upon its abundant natural resources and well-developed international trade networks. And that's what we're going to talk about. Canada's economy. As of 2021, Canada was the number 9 economy in the world in terms of GDP, based on the US dollar, the number 9 in total exports, the number 12 in total imports, and the number 32 country on the most complex economy according to the Economic Complexity Index. Canada sold over $596 billion worth of exported products in 2022. That's a lot. The province in Canada that contributes most to its exported products is Ontario, and if you're wondering where all those exports go, well, they come right here to the good old US of A. About 75% of Canada's exports are shipped off to America, while its number 2 export country, China, only makes up about 5% of all exports. So America and Canada are pretty dependent on one another. But what exactly is Canada shipping to America, China, and everywhere else? That's what we're here to talk about. It's time for the list. This list comes from a number of sources, but primarily from worldstopexports.com and the Observatory of Economic Complexity, or OEC. I also pulled some notes from ibisworld.com and supplemented with Wikipedia. The ranking itself. This is the export product groups ranked by highest US dollar value in Canadian global shipments during the year 2022, the most recent data I could find for a full year. The 10th product category that Canada exports most to other countries is ores, slag, and ash. Aren't you glad you're listening today? God, what an exciting topic. Ores, slag, and ash. Number 10, $11.5 billion in US dollar value. It makes up 1.9% of all Canadian exports. And if you're like me and you don't know what a slag is, I looked it up. It's a stony waste matter separated from metals during the smelting or refining of ore. Hang on, I think I heard some of you snoring. Let me say it one more time. The stony waste matter separated from metals during the smelting or refining of ore. That's slag, part of ore, slag, and ash at number 10. Number 9 is fertilizers. Fertilizers has a $13.7 billion industry in Canada. It makes up 2.3% of all exports. This category, though, is the fastest growing among the top 10. It's up over 100% from the prior year. So Canada loves to ship their fertilizers, and we'll take them here in America. Number 8 is aluminum, $14.2 billion in exports. Canada is actually the world's largest exporter of raw aluminum. Number 7, we get to electrical machinery and equipment, just under $15 billion in value and 2.5% of Canada's exports. Next is number 6 with plastics. $17 billion industry, just under 3% of all their exports. Finally, the big one. Not really. It's number 5, wood. Wood. Look outside. Wood. That's what they're shipping to everybody. $19.8 billion. And most of this is sawn wood. And Canada is the world's largest exporter of sawn wood. Number 4 is very precious to me. It's the gems and precious metals. $24 billion industry, 3% of all exports. Now, most of this is gold, which by itself represents over $14 billion. So Canada ships a lot of gold.
That's gold, Jerry. Gold!
Number 3 is machinery such as computers. $38 billion in value, 6% of all exports. Number 2 is vehicles. It's a $50 billion export industry with 8% of all exports. Fun fact, cars is also Canada's number 1 imported product from other countries in the world. And we finally made it. God bless you for sticking with me. Number 1 is mineral fuels, including oil. This is a $180 billion in value, more than 3 times the number 2 export, which again was vehicles. Mineral fuels like oil make up more than 30% of all Canadian exports. Most of that is crude petroleum, which by itself represents more than $120 billion in exports. So about 67% of number 1's exports is just crude petroleum. And I won't be crude to you now, folks, because I'm going to go back through that top 10. Number 10 was ores, slag, and ash. Number 9 is fertilizers. Number 8 is aluminum. Number 7 is electrical machinery and equipment. Number 6 is plastic. Number 5 is wood. Number 4 is gems and precious metals, such as gold. Number 3 is machinery, including computers. Number 2 is vehicles. And number 1 is mineral fuels, including oil. How'd I do, Brad Choma? I can feel your deep appreciation from here. I want to thank the great country of Canada for providing Americans like me and so many others around the world with all the fertilizer, plastic, slag, and oil that we so desperately crave. Thank you. And I want to thank you, listener, for taking this journey through the Great White North with me. By the way, if you're looking for more Canada, listen to episode 174 from our main weekly series. That's where me and Brad Choma talked about the top 10 most populous cities in Canada. That episode, number 174, is available to listen to right now on whichever podcast app you're listening to my voice on right now. I hope you'll check it out. Do you have ideas for a future top 10-ish topic for the Tiny 10-ish? The list today was actually suggested by a listener just like you. So if you have your own ideas, let me know on social media at 10ishpod. All of our social media links are in the show notes. Or you can also shoot me an email at 10ishpod@gmail.com. And remember, while this list may have been tiny, Canada is huge as hell. And so is my love for you. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.